Hi, my name is Matthew Rhyne, and I'm the Tech Integration Coach for the Lancaster School District. Lancaster School District is located in the high desert north of Los Angeles, and we're a very big district with over 20 schools, serving about 15,000 students. I've been doing this job for 3 years. This is actually probably my 17th year in teaching, but the last few years I've been a tech coach. And a big part of my job is training teachers. We have done many Google camps. We do Monday PDs that focus on different Google apps. And we have quite a few teachers in our district now who are Google Level 1 and Level 2 certified. Although I love working with teachers, one of the best parts of my job is I get to go into classrooms and work with kindergarten through 8th grade students. And one of the things I really like to do with them is introduce them to the Scratch coding program and using the Google CS First curriculum. I've been using the Google CS First curriculum ever since it came out with middle school students, but in the last couple of years I've been using it for K through 8. And while I spend a lot of my time in the classroom, I'll spend a lot of my time preparing professional development for teachers. And I hope to be doing something related to educational technology for the rest of my career.
Today I'm going to be showing you how to use a rubric that you have created or plan on creating with Google Forms, sort of attaching the two together. That will give you the ability to quickly fill out a rubric and also be able to keep track of it with all the sort of data analysis formats that Google Forms allows. Before we get started, you're going to need a few things. First of all, you need a rubric. Now, this rubric can be one you've already created. It could be a Google Doc. It could be a Word doc. It really could be anything. If you don't have one already created, I recommend Rubistar. I'm going to be using one from Rubistar. That's a good free online resource to explore. You're going to need a screenshot extension. I recommend Nimbus or Awesome Screenshot. I'm going to be using Nimbus for this one. And finally, you need a class roster. You may already have a class roster. You need it in some sort of spreadsheet form, again, Google Sheets. If you don't have one, very easy to use Alice Keeler's extension to quickly pull from Google Classroom. I'm going to be showing you how to use that one as well. So those are the tools you're going to need before you begin. And again, I'm going to walk you through each of these steps using these various apps or web resources. Now, the next thing you're going to need is a rubric. Now, it doesn't matter what format this rubric is in. All you need it to have is just to be appearing on your computer screen. So it could be in any format. I'm going to use a Rubistar rubric. This is one that somebody created for a literature peer review for literature circles. But again, you can have it in any format as long as it's on your screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here to my screenshot app or extension. I'm going to click on this. This is Nimbus, and it gives me all of these choices. I just want to capture a selected area. So I'm going to click here, and then I'm just going to drag over the part of the rubric I want to take. And again, this is an image. So I'm going to click that, and now I've captured the area I want, and I'm going to click right here where it says save. Now you're going to tell it where to save. You can put it anywhere on your computer. You can put it in your Google Drive even. So I'm going to click save. If you look down here, there's my rubric. So this is the picture, basically a image that I captured from this page. And I'm going to show you how to put this in a Google form in just a second. Now, the next part of creating the rubric is to create the actual Google form. You can do that from your Drive. That's where I'm going to do it. So I'm going to go up here to New, down to More, and I'm going to select Google Forms. And as always, it's going to open up a new tab. And here's my untitled form. So again, give it a title, Peer Review Rubric. And then my first question I'm going to put in is where I'm going to use my image. So right here, if I click on this little image icon, it's going to give me the option to load an image. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this image that I have, I'm just going to drag and drop it right into this window. Now, if you notice, it's going to populate this as an image into this question. And I can put rubric for my title. And then from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I select multiple choice grid. So make sure you select multiple choice grid as the question type. Now, my rows are going to be all of this information right here. So my first row is going to be commitment. Second row is going to be accuracy, and I'm going to be brief. I'm not going to write everything. Support and conclusion. Misspelled support here. I'll go back and fix that. And over for your columns, it's just going to be the numbers. So this one's going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4. And let me show you what it looks like in the preview mode. So this is what it's going to look like when someone is going to be filling it out. You're going to have your rubric right here, and then you can rank what they got for each of the categories. If they get a 1, 2, 3, or 4. For each of these, you can rank them. So again, this is taking the image of the rubric that we used the screenshot to grab, putting it into the question, making a multiple choice grid, and just replicating on the rows the categories, and then on the columns the ranking. In this case, it's 1 through 4. But again, if you had a rubric that was only 1 through 3 or 1 through 5 or whatever, that's where you'd put the numbers that corresponds to what they scored on this particular category. So the next part of this is, since this is peer review, you want to keep track of who is doing the review and whose paper they are reviewing. And again, I'm going to show you how to quickly do that using Alice Keeler's classroom roster extension. So up here, this little icon, again, you have to add this as an extension first. So I'm going to click on this. I'm going to list all of my Google Classroom classes, which I have quite a few. I click right here and I can select which class I want to use. I'm just going to grab a list from my last winter GSE bootcamp. I'm going to make a roster. So what's going to happen is it's going to generate this roster into spreadsheets. And it's really nice because it's going to give you the first name, last name, but also their full name. So what I'm going to do here is I want their full name. So I am just going to copy all of these names, right click copy, just like you would normally do for anything. I'm going to go back to my form. I'm going to create a new question. So click on add question. And then I'm going to click right here in option 1, and then I'm going to right click and I'm going to hit paste. And if you notice, it's going to paste all the names of the people on that roster in each of an option. Now, since this is a long list, I want to make this a drop down. So again, I don't want a huge list right here. Now, I'm going to duplicate this because I need this twice. So I go down here to duplicate. Now I have part 1 and then part 2. This first question is going to be my name because you want the person to select their name. And then go down here, I am reviewing this person's paper. And then they can select which person's paper they're reading. So if I go to my preview, when this person's filling it out, they can select their name and they can select the person whose paper they're reviewing. They would again go through their paper and then select according to their own rubric. But again, you could set this up for your own purposes if you were grading students' work. But this is for in the context of a peer review activity. So again, using that classroom extension, Alice Keeler Classroom Roster extension, you can quickly pull a list of one of your classrooms if they're already in it, copy and paste it, and that can be your options for these two questions. Okay, hope this helps you make a very easy to use rubric either for yourself or for your students.